Okay, well, the end of Act 3 is exporting. Let's continue into the intermission, finally. What could be here in the intermission? Tick, tock. Ooh, it's green. Why is it green? Alright. No, I was reading the text from this when they were reading it in game with this crazy accent. See, I'm not going to do the crazy accent because that would just probably drive people insane until I get to the character who I have the silly accent for. Anyway, I imagine this was sort of in the vein of Problem Sleuth. And let me just say right now, Problem Sleuth was really, really not that interesting. The characters were just, like, so interchangeable. Anyway, your name is Spade Slick. You are the leader of a notoriously vicious gang of mobsters called the Midnight Crew. A rival gang known as the Felt recently knocked over one of your favorite casinos. Your long quest of revenge has finally taken you to the front door of the mansion belonging to their loathsome boss, Lord English. Your subordinates, Clubs Deuce, Diamonds Droog, and Hearts Boxcars. That's hard to say. Hearts Boxcars. I'm going to be calling him Bart's Cars a lot. I know I will. Have been dispatched to various locations throughout the mansion to begin carrying out your mission. Your objective is to locate and crack English's secret vault and plunder its mysteries. That's the business end of it. The pleasure will be painting this ugly house red with the blood of those miserable green motherfuckers. That's probably where he got that word from. Inspect timekeeping devices. Stupid gang and their lousy obsession with clocks. The sooner all these idiots stop being alive, the better. You wonder where they are. It's awfully quiet in the mansion, sans all the dreadful ticking. Capture log carriage clock? You obviously have no idea what that means. This is where the whole Problem Sleuth homage comes in. If it's some smartass way of saying to pick it up, forget it. You're already carrying an item. It is your trusty deck of cards. Build fort with clocks. You have an idea that's so much better. Clocks destroyed? 4 out of 1,000. That's a lot of fucking clocks. Why would you ever need that many clocks? Like as if you were running an experiment about clock speed. Check for traps under the billiards rug. Nope, just a douchebag with a mullet and a really nice mustache, actually. A species you do not recognize. Okay. So I guess they're only vaguely humanoid? What is under the rug is much worse than any trap you can imagine. It is a member of a species that you do not recognize, with a ghastly furred upper lip. You cover the unsightly individual back up and try to forget it ever existed. Play 52 Pickup. The best game ever. Yeah, this is going to be Problem Sleuth all over again. You would need a deck of cards to play that infernal game. Fortunately, all you have is your war chest, which you deploy on the floor. Open war chest. Okay. Shuffle contents of war chest. You rummage around. It's no unusual assortment of belongings, and nothing any mobster worth his salt would be caught plotting and scheming without. Certainly nothing eyebrow-raising. A bunch of blades and playing cards and a variety of other miscellaneous stuff. Also your vendetta itinerary and your heist map. Scavenge war chest for fancy headwear. If there are any elaborate headdresses in here, you'll eat your haberdasher. No, he wouldn't be that, delicious. Unless he's mad. But of course there's only a plain and serviceable backup hat, which naturally conceals 2 liquorish Scotty dogs. Which makes you think that maybe you're wearing your backup hat and this is your usual one? Hell if you know, they are the same damn hat. Hide inside your war chest. You cannot properly hide inside the chest because you cannot close it while you are inside. Instead, you momentarily pretend it's a really cool automobile that commands the fear and respect of larcenous adversaries everywhere. Beep, 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 all aboard the idiot wagon. Star the Crosby top. Oh, I get it. It's Bing Crosby. Is that what this thing is? You had it for some time and don't quite remember how you got it. You never knew the identity of this pipe-smoking creature. Perhaps it could be the same species as the character you saw under the rug. But you know that is impossible because this one does not feature the same bizarre furred lip. They are probably different species within the same genus. Go to mspaintadventures.com. Aw, yeah. Self-insertion. You don't know why you're wasting time on this website. It is for little children who poop hard in their baby-ass diapers. Also, you don't understand what the hell is going on or who all these characters are. It is all a lot of nonsense. I don't know. I was following pretty well. I mean, I had to think over it after watching it because it was hard to think at the same time I was consuming it all, but delete the time setting on the Crosby top. Clock's destroyed. 5 out of 1,000. Well done. Take the spade key. You take the rules card for blackjack. You have possessed this item for as long as you can remember. You do not yet know its significance, though you can hustle up a mean game of blackjack when you need to. Well, I'm assuming that he's a Carapacian, much like Lil Buddy and Newman in Action Replay are. So I guess that's why he doesn't really recognize humans. And this barcode, something to do with it. I don't know. I think I kind of know why people don't like the intermission, and I have a legitimate reason for not liking it already. Because I didn't really like Problem Sleuth, and this is just Problem Sleuth all over again. Examine Vendetta itinerary. These are the mugshots of everyone you are going to kill. And they're very green. You got a head start. You're already off crowbar. Green is hard to read against this gray. 7. Matchsticks, 11. And quarters, 14, depleting them of some of their muscle. You still got to watch out for the others and stay wary of their despicable time shenanigans. Itchy, 1, has given you the slip repeatedly. Doze, 2. Oh. Itchy, meaning 1, and dose, 2. You've captured and interrogated just as repeatedly to no avail. Trace, 3, has broken into your secret hideout more times than you can count, while Finn, 5, always seems to be a step ahead of you and scoops your heists. Clover, 4 leaves Clover, has all the intel and is highly cooperative. You might need him to crack the vault. He'll be guarded. Best to avoid die, 6-sided die, in any direct confrontations, unless you want to be a temporal mess in your hands. But if you need any repairs, you always get to Stitch. 9. And persuade him. And you might need to if you can't kill Sawbuck, 10, with a clean shot. Eggs, 12, dozen eggs, and biscuits, 13, baker's dozen, are morons. But they are dangerous morons. Cans, 15, is a tank and your crew will probably need more ammunition than you pack to take him down. No one knows what Lord English looks like, but that'll be corrected tonight. You've got dibs on English. He's all yours. Okay, so I got the majority of this. Crowbar, mainly because the number 7 is shaped like 1. Matchsticks for the 2 1s. Quarters, 14. The only ones I don't get, I kind of don't understand Finn. I mean, I know a couple of different words for 5 in other languages. Stitch doesn't make any sense to me, because what does 9 have to do with Stitch, unless it's some kind of sewing reference? Sawbuck should make sense to me. I know it does in some way, but I couldn't name it for the life of me. And cans. 15 cans? Wonder where the number 8 mugshot went. It's right here, but you aren't going to kill Snowman. It's out of the question. Oh, Snowman. Ha. Cute. Examine heist map. Utter nonsense. Excuse me. On review, your schemes seem a bit convoluted, but you wouldn't have it any other way. Deuce and Droop split up to neutralize as many felt as they could find. Your heavy muscle and expert safecracker boxcars is headed straight down to the vault. Use radio device to check on unscrupulous cohorts. You put the word out to your cronies for a status report. No response yet. You clean up all your junk and prepare to get the show on the road. You slip the spade key back to the deck of cards, then pocket the war chest. Smooth as clockwork and every bit as logical. Yep. Enter the hallway near the main entrance. Funny, you didn't hear any commotion or gunplay, but it looks like there's already been some action in here. Or there will be. You can never take tenths for granted with these goons. 13 out of 1,000 clocks destroyed. Apparently. Looks like Club's deuce is getting back to you. He says he's got Doze tied up for interrogation. You ask him what else is new. Capturing that guy is like shooting a paralyzed monkey in the face. Grand. Excuse me. And I just like rubbed my hand all over my glasses. Great. Just a second. Okay, I can at least see. So the thing this is short. I want to try to crank it out in one video. B. Hearts Boxcars. You are now Club's deuce. Guess that makes sense. This is why I didn't like Problem Sleuth. It thinks it's so clever. Rough him up. He remains tight-lipped, so you deal him a senseless shin-drubbing with your crook of felony. Oh, the humanity, you can barely watch. Oh no. Drub drub. He's probably still using his special ability to slow time down for himself. He can't feel a damn thing and certainly isn't saying anything, apart from a very low noise, which could be him saying ow very, very slowly. Punch clocks and faces to establish chronology. Why would you do that? All these clocks are lovely. You see no reason to harm them. 987 out of 1,000 clocks unharmed. That's counterintuitive. Swap hats with Doze. You begin a feeble campaign of psychological warfare. Perhaps compromising his fashion motif is the way to get him. Nope, looks like he's still in his weird state of stasis and doesn't care. Isn't state of stasis redundant? Either that or it's driving him nuts, just very slowly. Dump the contents of your war chest over him. Not this again. War chest? What are you talking about? All you've got is this simple, unassuming deck of cards. Play some solitaire. And a war chest, assume. Well, actually, it's a battle drobe. Don't be stupid. To play solitaire, you need a deck of cards. I don't see a deck of cards to you. All I see is your battle drobe. Throw a hat down and stomp it mercilessly. Oh no, it's Ichi. It looks like he's all wound up. He unties Dose and quickly swaps everyone's hats around. Oh no. Dose proceeds to make a fleet-footed getaway. The chase is on. Stop being Hearts Boxcars? Alright, you're the boss. Hearts Boxcars, you ain't. Someone has replaced your plain and serviceable hat with the silly and undersized one. An outrage beyond compare. You're sure you know who the culprit was? Who can still smell his overly caffeinated blood? 986 out of 1,000 clocks shown mercy. Lift leg and hold it a little ways in the air. Whoops. That would probably be extremely painful. Very nice. 4 out of 15 green torsos dead. Wear CD's hat on top of your current one. You're already wearing Deuce's hat, you fool. The one on the floor is Droog's hat. This is exactly why you always keep a backup hat on hand. This son of a bitch on the floor here has played his last game of musical hats. Soon these lugs will learn to show you some respect. You made this town what it is, after all. Wasn't nothing but a bunch of dust and rocks before you got here. Sure was. I might have to take a moment to divert and hypothesize a couple of things. Because I know spoilers, naturally. I'm going to hypothesize. Obviously the spades, hearts, diamonds, and clubs, you know, they play a bigger role later on in Homestuck for, you know, obvious reasons. So I'm assuming this is their origin, and the fact that these guys, the Felt, can fuck with the time stream at will, for reasons unexplained. Yeah, I guess this is the origins. I mean, they say it's important, it's just that this is, like, horrendously boring. Wear a backup hat. You deploy your chest and swap this dinky little hat for one more suited to your tastes. Wait a minute. Thank God, your precious Scotty dogs are still here. You don't even know what you do without them. You don't want to even think about it. Poof. He's got a voodoo doll. Dai makes his usual sort of entrance, the nonplussed, vaguely bewildered sort. Okay, diversion time. This is something not a lot of people know about the word nonplussed. Most people assume that it means the same thing that like nonchalant means, which means like completely unruffled. Nonplussed actually means surprised and confused, so much they are unsure how to react. Confused, vaguely bewildered sort. Good job. Be Diamond's Droog. You got it. Club's deuce it is. You have opened your battle drobe in search of your backup hat. You also need some more rope to retie Doze, who is absolutely tearing through the mansion as we speak. If you don't hurry, he may clear the chair within an hour. But it's a big mess. You mostly just see a bunch of bombs and cards. You're not sure what's what. You can never remember which card to pick up. You can't believe how shitty your memory is. Grab the deuce of clubs. You pick up 2 licorice gummy bears. Yuck. These need to be stored for safekeeping as soon as possible. Finding your backup hat has never been more urgent. Pick up all the cards and throw them at Doze. Black inches? Licorice, licorice, licorice? You pick up a bunch of cards and fling them Dozeward. Didn't accomplish a whole lot other than put some of your private reading material on embarrassing public display. I guess the cards are encoded. Pick a card, any card. You're a busy guy, so you just pick up any old thing and put it on your head. Since you're in a big hurry, you assume that it is your backup hat. You stand nearby the 2 remaining cards on the floor, an off-suited king and jack. Pick up cards depicting stately blonde-haired fellows. You aren't going to stand around jacking off all day? Wow, very nice. So you grab the jack of diamonds. Oh, here's your backup hat. Problem solved, you guess. Forget you are CD. Believe you are Hotspock cars. Oh, you suddenly remember you are Diamond's Droog. Whoever took your hat is about to discover he's the unluckiest man on Earth. He better hope you find him dead. What you're going to do to him will be much less painful that way. Wear a backup hat. You don't have a backup hat. All you got is a stack of cards. Oh wait, yes you do. It's stashed away in your mausoleum. Retrieve hat from mausoleum. You're the only member of this band of thugs who is civilized enough to keep more than one backup hat, as well as an extremely extensive array of finely tailored suits. Nicely done. The mausoleum seemed like the best storage option for your exceptional wardrobe. If there's any sort of compartment to keep your wardrobe in, you'd love to hear it. Also, there's a shitload of guns and cards in there. You put on a backup hat. Withdraw licorice fish from backup hat. Phew, your Swedish fish are there. This is why it's a good idea to always store your candy in your backup hat rather than your usual one. Other members of your gang have learned this the hard way, and they're finally starting to catch on. Oh, so he must be the smart guy. Suddenly, you get cold-cocked in the face from the future. You know the knuckles belonging to that sucker punch anywhere. The future. Oh, sort of a... excuse me, a Donnie Darko reference? Trace. Always knows where you've been. The spineless rat likes to follow your past trail around and mess with you. Trouble is, whenever he does, he lets you know exactly where he's going to be in the future. This time, you'll be ready for him. You radio Deuce for backup. Give him a time and place and exactly what path from the mansion to take. Resume pursuit of wounded felt member. You don't know if the wounded guy went up the stairs or came down, or who wounded him and when. Might have even been you, for all you know. Follow a trail of blood up the stairs. Can't overthink this time stuff. You go with your gut and head upstairs. Follow Diamond's Droog's instructions. Is that a Stretch Hogan Armstrong? Oh, it's just a regular Stretch Armstrong. It just looks like Hulk Hogan for some reason from this distance. After giving a quick 10-4 over the radio, you take another look at your prisoner. He lucked out. Looks like round 2 of your brutal interrogation will have to wait. You couldn't find any rope, so you tied him up with a Stretch Armstrong doll which you happen to have lying around. You don't remember how you got it. It looks sort of dumb, but it will have to do. His at least still stretches. I mean, after a while, the corn syrup starch crap that's in their arms hardens. and then it just doesn't stretch anymore. Just like a doze in the battledrobe. Time to hit the road. You beat your hostage to the back of your battledrobe with the bull penis cane. Wait, this is a bull penis cane? What? You flip the fuck out of the fact this is apparently a bull penis cane. Meanwhile, running roughly parallel with the present events. Yeah, and the whole flipping the fuck out thing is another reference. This is irritating. They're playing cards. Poker, it looks like. He's got 3 of a kind. And he's got 3 of a kind, except I think aces are high. So, you win, buddy. Except that, for some reason, turned out to be not a king. Or a king, and not an 8. So he gets 4 of a kind to his 3 of a kind. Wow. Ichi always cheats, but he's always cheated for the last time. You're gonna jump to a timeline where he's dead. That works. Looks like he got what he deserved, but, as usual, you find yourself in a bit of a predicament. Make friends with Dai. You introduce your cast iron horse hitcher to your new friend. Nicely done. Dai scrambles for a pin he's been saving for special occasions. How many times does he have to tell you he made this town? Stop being Spade Slick? You stop not being Heart's boxcars. You've made your way to the Felt's secret vault. It is bigger than you were expecting. You doubt you'll be able to rely on your usual safe-cracking method, which is prying it from the wall with your bare hands. You'll have to think of something else. Do a silly dance. This is just absolutely the most ridiculous thing you could possibly choose to do right now. I mean, come on. Why don't you take a closer look at that safe? Seriously, stop that. Pry the wall from the safe. That notion is even more ridiculous than the last one. Wait, who are you kidding? No, it isn't. Looks like the combination to the safe is entered via the hands of the clock, and you somehow doubt spinning the hands around manually is going to cut it. Knowing these guys, you've got to alter the flow of time itself to make it work. Which, of course, is bullshit. You think you just blow it up instead. Time to get Dukes on the radio. Deploy punchbox. You deploy the wrath tub. Very nice. Hearts look like butts. Retrieve 2 of hearts from backup hat. You retrieve your pair of wax lips. If anyone tries to steal your wax lips, you would eat their eyeballs and deliver an angry lecture into their empty eye sockets. That would be effective, because eyes listen. Peruse Red Cheeks magazine. Just glancing at it gives you palpitations. Literature for avid cardiaficionados, such as yourself. Those burgeoning red humps, that mischievous little tail, that snug, welcoming cleft. The saucy imagery is hard to beat. Harder than what you beat inside your chest now. Or that meat you beat. Your heart is what you're beating. You beat it to the Red Cheeks magazine pretty regularly, you'd say. Yes, that throbbing heart of yours. Call clubs on nearest card. You read Theoduse on the 10-4 cards. Let him know you need a powder monkey on the double. You hear ticking, and it's not coming from the big vault clock above. You hope it's not what you think it is. Oh no. Oh god. It's Biscuits. His oven timer is ticking. This is no good. Bzz. Whoa, he's big. There he is. This idiot thinks his special oven transports him into the future by the amount he's hit on the timer. Well, he's sort of right, but in reality all that's happening is that he's hiding in there until the timer's up, then pops out. You guess he's relatively harmless if he's alone. You can take him. What you really have to worry about is if he teams up with... Oh no, that ringing, that god-awful ringing, you can hear it. Eggs, son of a fuck. You might as well just grab one of your axes and kill yourself now. I guess he can multiply himself? Follow path. The future. In the future, you've already followed this path through the mansion that Drew told you to. Trace followed Droog's past trail even further back, but found a much fresher trail crossing his path. Looks like this little guy is talking on the radio. Says something about how he'll be right there once he gives Droog a hand. Trace decides he'll trace this guy for a while, see what he's up to, and then mess with him, of course. In the present, you talk on the radio. Say something about how you'll be right there once you give Droog a hand. Take a good look around the new room you're in. Looks like the trail of blood ends here, or originates, whatever. Something went down here in the past, or is about to go down in the future. You know what? Never mind. 21 out of 1,000 clocks destroyed, apparently. Hang on, there's a tooth on the floor. You know that tooth. You felt its bite before. Finn was here. And judging by the forensics of the scene, the ankle had hit the floor, the direction of the blood splatters, and how dry the blood is, you think you know exactly what he's about to pull. Or more specifically, what he's about to already have pulled. Meanwhile, in the past, Finn always knows where you're going. He followed your future trail here. He likes to mess with you from the past. Trouble is, he tips you off where he's been. This time you're ready. Wait for it. Now. Aw, he got owned. Hopefully. In the past, he got shot up and shot again. Predestined bullet holes are convenient. Gives you something to aim for. 7 out of 21 clocks re-destroyed. Meanwhile, in the past, rematerialize. That doesn't make any sense. You never went anywhere. Dai realizes there is a cost to settling the score with you in this way. The cost is having to live in a desert amidst the ruins of a dead civilization for the rest of his life. He thinks that's stupid, so he pulls your pin. Help the green man live up to his name. Yep. That was, intelligent. Okay. Take voodoo doll. You grab his voodoo doll and stick his pin in there for good measure. Might as well keep track of everyone you've offed this way, too. Not that you intend to use its power to settle your score. What's the point if you're not going to get your hands dirty? Still, it might come in handy down the road. Lord English is supposedly indestructible. He is rumored to be killable only through a number of glitches and exploits in space-time. The doll may ultimately help you work the system, if it comes to that. Am I the only person who is bored out of her skull? Clocks, destroy them. 29 out of 1,000 clocks destroyed. 5 out of 15 green torsos dead. Follow blood trail downstairs and finish him off. Problem with that is, he'll just see your future trail following him, and that'll be nothing but a loud invitation for him to mess with you some more. Besides, better to leave him alive. You think you know where he'll lead you to. Just gotta be a little more subtle about tracing his blood trail. Keep your future trail out of his line of sight. Return to being Heart's boxcars. Spade Slick cannot return to being Heart's boxcars because obviously Diamond's Droog is too busy being Club's Deuce. You just watch Trace throw a punch into thin air for some reason. That guy's awfully silly. He then skulks off somewhere. You don't realize he's following Droog's past trail through the mansion until he gets to the point where it intersects with your trail, at which point he'll start following you. But we all realized it because it's obvious and couldn't possibly be more clear. Right. Implement nefarious scheme. You follow Droog's simple instructions, so simple even a forgetful nincompoop like you can remember. There's a blood trail on the floor that goes in a different direction than Trace went. You decide to follow it because that sounds like a really good idea to you. If there was something you were supposed to do after helping out Droog, you'll be damned if you remember what it was. Meanwhile, in the future, Trace catches up to where you were, but you're on already. All he sees is a long, gross rubbery arm of your past trail stretching through the room. He finds his comrade tied up with the stretchy rubber arms of a small man. There is nothing gross or unpalatable about that in the least. Doze unslows himself and begins mumbling something feverishly. About his hat. Okay. Boom. 7 out of 15 green torsos dead. 107 out of 1,000 clocks destroyed. Sweet. In the past, Finn makes his way through the mansion to get some help. He wonders where this little guy is going. Eustace's future trail is headed in the same direction he's headed by sheer coincidence. Finn decides to follow him for a bit, keep an eye on him, for as long as Deuce's path matches his, that is. There's pretty much no chance he's headed to the same place, though. That would be statistically improbable. He's got no idea what these other goons are up to here. Funny, their future trails end here. He's not going to stick around long enough to find out why. He's a bit too woozy from the blood loss to sort out this mess anyway. Follow the red blood road. It's uncanny. This little guy is matching Finn's route every step of the way. He must know something. Finn decides he's got to take him out. He can't get a clear shot. It's too dizzy, and with a lot C4 under Deuce's hat, firing would be a bad idea. My god, he's thought of everything. Clearly dealing with a criminal mastermind here. Or one of those people who's just the luckiest unlucky person. You stop to admire this gorgeous clock. It is so pretty. Too bad it's not ticking like so many of the other clocks in this place. Not that you can blame them. There are so many clocks in this mansion, it would obviously be impractical to make sure they all work properly. Oh, look, a trail of blood. You think you'll start following it. Waste exactly 4 hours on this tomfoolery. Well, that looks squishy. You hate time travel, 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 you hate time travel. I was hoping to go for the whole entire thing without messing up, but it's me we're talking about. And my throat hurts trying to get through this as fast as I can. Oh my god. You can even hear the scratchiness in my voice. Let's get more oxygen into my lungs then. Whew. Oh boy. Above, a spectator has appeared at the strike of 4 and has been giggling at your foolishness for a number of minutes. Clover would have been tickled to help you open this vault, at the cost of answering a few of his clever time riddles, needless to say. If only you thought to seek his help first, rather than charging like the silly brute you are into this deadly trap of stable and not so stable time loops. Mostly unstable, really. These guys are way too dumb to maintain even elementary looping stability for more than a couple iterations. If you weren't so preoccupied, Clover could tell you that you could use Crowbar's help to pry anything out of a time loop, stable or otherwise. If you weren't so preoccupied, and if you weren't so dead, hee hee hee. Yep. Stitch mutters to himself in his shop. He guesses eggs and biscuits are roughhousing again, because the fabric of space-time is tearing something fierce on Lord English's Cairo overcoat. This sort of thing is exactly why he keeps a backup coat and always leaves Stitch with one of them. Stitch in Time, number 9. I still can't figure it out. Any gang does well to have an in-house doctor on hand, but if you deal in time travel, you better have a damn good tailor, too. Call Spades for backup. You tell Slick to get his scrawny ass to the vault. It's goddamn bedlam down here. You tell him you have the Deuce for backup, but surprise, surprise, he's nowhere to be found. Big surprise, you tell him. You tell him that was sarcasm. He says he knows. Slick says he'll be right there. He'll see if he can round up Droog for support. Droog says Deuce is tailing Finn while he's tailing Deuce. He'll be there to help out boxcars as soon as he and Deuce take care of business with Stitch. Couldn't be simpler. Oh yeah, he also mentions he pumped Finn full of lead so you can cross him off the list. You roger all that. In the past, Finn busts into Stitch's workshop, blubbering something about watching out for the little guy who's about to come in here. He says to watch out because he's got a bomb on his head, which is undoubtedly quite volatile, and even the slightest spark would surely set it off. Stitch sees Finn's obviously in pretty bad shape and checks his effigy. Sure enough, this thing's in tatters. But he should be just fine if he can be patched up before he bleeds to... Oops. A little late. Death. 8 out of 15 green torsos dead. Yay. Burst in thrusting bull penis cane. Dang. Everybody out of the goddamn way. You get a hat full of bomb, a fist full of penis, and a head full of empty. Yeah, fist full of penis. A fistful of penis. I'm not really enjoying this all that thoroughly, but a fistful of penis. Yep. Stitch says drop the livestock knob and settle the hell down. He says, you do realize C4 is a stable explosive and won't detonate with gunfire, right? You say, oh. Sneak into Stitch's boutique. Drop in and get it. Don't bleed on the suits. Stitch says, huh? You admit the thought of carrying an in-person tailor wherever you go is gratifying for personal reasons, but in this case, keeping him alive should be useful in dealing with English later. Good point. Prod idiots with red cheeks. Whoa, can't look at that. This predictably accomplished nothing. Taking your smut out of hiding turned out to be a very bad idea. Now copies from the future are appearing left and right, and these clowns all have their paws all over it. Slick, where the hell are you? Remove crowbar spin. Oops. Probably shouldn't have done that. Huh. Crowbar's alive again, and a whole bunch of other stuff is different. You forgot this gang almost seems halfway competent when he's running the show. The good news is you get to kill him again. Insert and quickly remove Snowman's pin. You have no idea how much you'd like to, but even you're not that crazy. Still, kind of tempting. Rest my voice. Oh, and the 8's like boobs too. Hold still, Slick. Something in your eye. Obviously, Slick, you're no match for the snowman. She's just too beautiful for you. Everyone always uses gunplay when Snowman's around. If you kill her, you destroy the universe. That would be bad. Remove knife from eye. No, that's not a knife. That was definitely the cigarette holder. Like Cruella de Vil's cigarette holder thingy. It is not a knife. It is Snowman's cigarette holder. All you know is she's going to have a hell of a time getting it back. Give it to Sawbuck. You chuck the lance at Sawbuck. Like the idea of having like a smaller item that just grows to a larger item when you need it to. Although I think it's all supposed to be plays on the glitchiness inherent to Problem Sleuth. You chuck the lance at Sawbuck, but of course it's only a flesh wound. Monty Python reference. As if that's never been done before. Seems like that's the only sort of wound you can ever inflict on the corpulent lummox. Consequently, you and he both jump to a random point in the timeline. This looks to be the recent past when Stitch and Crowbar were setting up the crates for imminent gunfight. Which was very thoughtful of them. Your goons should be showing up any minute with heavy firepower. Right now you've got the drop on everybody. Kill something out of rage and frustration. That works. Stitch gets the business end of your saber rattle. He's dead. In this timeline, at least. Bring knives to the gunfight? Where do you think you're going, fatty? He'll deal with him in a minute. You whip out your double-edged sword and Occam's razor. Ouch. Occam's razor, Crowbar's head. Make it happen. Or make it happen. Crowbar deflects the King of Spades into Sawbuck's unmissable carriage. You jump far into the past. Years in the past. Which is to say the present, for the time being. A scurrilous straggler. Spade Slick, scurrilous straggler, same eyes, same general poise. Spade. A different self. I is impromptu desert skirmish. He dismisses them as a bunch of ill-mannered rogues warranting no further investigation, although he gives a small nod of approval to the plain and unsurfaceable hat worn by one of the combatants, which strikes him as an absolutely smashing display of good fashion sense. As long as he doesn't get an AK-47 and start shooting people. Okay? Action replay, Super Saiyan. Hit Crowbar in the head. You can't kill him. Yet. You need him alive to return to the original timeline. You will be taking that crowbar, though. Yes. Stuff him in your deck of cards. You cram him in the war chest, somehow. Sawbuck you need to keep alive, too, for that moment. Not to return to the right timeline, but the right time. Speaking of which, where's Tubby you think he's waddling off to? Just go stab Sawbuck until time shenanigans stop. You treat him to a bit of old bait and switchblade. You appear in the future. You guess this is the, after the gunfight is over. The gunfight that never took place since you kidnapped everyone who was supposed to be involved. Looks like only Boxcars is here. Carry Sawbuck like Titan assless. What? Assless chaps, anybody? Carry Sawbuck like Titan Atlas, who would carry the world. I suppose if he jumped that far into the past, he inspired his past self to wear a hat and created an ontological paradox. You order Hearts to drop his tub in the double before the fat lard puts you in a wheelchair. If you take Sawbuck back to your own time and kill him there, that should save you the trouble of hunting him down. Might as well take Stitch, too. Maybe. You're not really sure if that's how it works. You don't really care, though. Bleh. You dump them in the wrath tub, then stick the tub in your own deck of cards. But you give Boxcars back his sword literature, which he'd carelessly left in plain sight. No one will ever catch you leaving your smut around. And even if you did, that copy of Terrier Fancy magazine... Slick. Something you want to tell us? Could belong to anybody. No one could prove nothing. Stick Crowbar's pin back in again. You go back to your original timeline, but now, stuffed in your chest, you've got a live Crowbar from another timeline. Brought to the timeline where he's supposed to be dead, so you guess now he's alive in this timeline, which is in part defined by his death? Okay, whatever. You should probably just kill him again anyway. Also, Sawbuck from another timeline is in there too, so you guess now there are two Sawbucks? This is getting kind of dumb. You're just now realizing this, Intermission? You open the chest, releasing them both. Crowbar doesn't look too pleased. You deflect his gunfire into the awesome gravitational pull of Sawbuck's astonishing girth. Everybody into the past. Whoa. You dodge his next round, too. It seems Sawbuck from this timeline, i.e. the real Sawbuck, was in this room at this point in time. He and Crowbar exchange bullets. Off they go. They no doubt go on to spend the rest of their ammunition peppering each other throughout the timeline, destroying all these clocks in the process between now and the present. You guess that explains the mess when you got here. Thank God you figured that out. You surely lost sleep over it. 20 out of 107 clocks were destroyed for the first time. Eventually, you know what, never mind. Take a moment to think of some time-based one-liners. Okay, you think you got one. Time travel sure can be a double-edged sword, Dave. Ugh. Wait, that was awful. Really, really bad. You're sure you can do better than that. Let's see. No. Time's running... No, wait. Fuck. You ask yourself in the past for a little help. Time's something about time. Time being up. No, wait. How about that kind of clock pun? Nope. Damn it. Will you just listen? You're almost on to something. Time is... Screw this. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Oh, and just what does this quivering mound of blubber think he's up to? He's sensitive about his weight, you know. He's just big boned. I mean, look at them bones. Anyway. Time flies like an arrow, but fruit flies like a banana. If you know what's up with that sentence, you have to smrat. Stab first, utter puns later. Just as you hear your past self asking what happened to your eye, you jab Sawbuck with your butterfly effect knife. Butterfly switchblade, butterfly effect. You remember a little while ago asking yourself about your eye and not giving yourself an answer just before disappearing. Maybe if you stopped and thought about it for a second, you could have warned yourself and avoided the whole mess, albeit in the process creating a paradox. But your strict policy of stabbing first and answering questions later prevented it. You're sure your past self understands/understood. You're sure of this because you very clearly remember understooding. Understooding is not a word, dear. You are now past I'm not gonna say that word. Whoops. Again. You were just about to pull Crowbar's pin. You guess all that stuff with your future self and Sawbuck originally happened in this room while we were all off watching something else, like Diamond's Droog or something. That makes sense. PSS. No, it's postscript, not postscript. Remove Crowbar's pin. Whoops. A whole bunch of shit happens that we already saw. That's just gonna keep looping. Be future Spade Slick. Being your future self is a lot more constructive because you get to do stuff you haven't already done. Looks like you're in the future. It's a bloody mess in here. The clocks are more bullet-riddled than ever, and it seems Crowbar and both Sawbucks have been decapitated. You're almost certain this is something you will be or were already responsible for, which of course means more time traveling. Looks like the tub and chest are gone, which means future you must have packed up and left already. Got to note of these sorts of things so you know where you are in the timeline. You notice something on the wall over there. One of the clocks that wasn't destroyed before now is blooded and full of holes. Not especially noteworthy. You just have a feeling you should register this fact. 108 out of 1,000 clocks destroyed? 108 is a bad number. Quickly remove Lance from Sawbuck. You pry the cigarette holder from his torso. Whoops, another time jump. This tub of goo keeps going for his gun. Wide boy's gotta settle his big ass down. You really should incapacitate him without inflicting another wound. Knock Sawbuck unconscious. Count some sheep, bitch. Wait, the clock on the wall. It hasn't been destroyed yet, but it's about to be. It's ticking down to the time it's stuck on in the future. Maybe if you time it just right, you can end this whole mess in one fell slice. You even got an ice-cold one-liner to dish out when the time comes. Time. You've been working pretty hard on it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Hate to cut and... Wait, no, not yet. Wait for it. Hate to... No. Wait. Hate to cut and... Damn it, not yet. Hate to cut and run. Shit. Hate to chop off all your heads with this sword. Real sorry about that. My bad. You slay them all with your rapier wit. Still waiting to explode, I think, but yeah, dead. Huge bitch, blue blue. Oops, pausing time. And Skiba jumps through time and reappears. Had to take a little break and talk to somebody. And also discuss part of why I really don't like this. As a person, I cannot handle anachronistic order. And it's not because of an inability to follow. It's an inability to remember things that happened not only a few minutes ago. As you've probably seen through how many times I'm like, I don't remember. I have really, really bad short-term memory. I have always had really bad short-term memory. I will forget something literally seconds after I think of it. I forget things very, very easily, and I'm like one of those people who, when I'm driving, I have to be paying strict attention to what I'm doing, because otherwise I'm just going to keep going. Even if it's a path I've traveled a billion times, even if it's something I've done a billion times. If I'm not paying attention, I will forget. So, when it references something that happened like 10, 20 pages ago, I'm not going to remember anything happened. So, a lot of my ease in understanding Homestuck comes from two things. One, the benefit of spoilers, which, thank God for those. The people on the wiki who is like, going into it spoiler-free, I'm like, no. You need to know some things in order to understand what the hell is going on and enjoy it. I don't enjoy things I don't understand. I stop them, put them down, and walk away. Anyway. The other being that Homestuck has a tendency to repeat things that have happened before, which trigger the memory in my head and allow me to remember. It also, goes back and says, this is where it was before, and here it is. Instead of just expecting you to be holding all this information. This is why I did not enjoy Problem Sleuth. Because I was not remembering anything. They'd be showing up in areas, and I'm like, have we been here before? And I'm just like, I don't remember, because I just don't. I have no memory for these things. So, now that I've got a visual guide here, my friend found me a visual representation of all the timelines and events in as close to chronological order as possible that I can look at after I'm done. So, I'm going to continue with this. It's going to be a long-ass video, but I want to get this done. 9 out of 15 green torsos dead. 2 out of 9 green torsos deadened twice. 1 out of 15 green torsos dead for the first time, but it's an alternate universe torso, so you guess maybe it doesn't count. 7 out of 108 clocks gratuitously redestroyed. You grab the tub and chest and move on. That is altogether enough of this nonsense. Call spades. You check up on Slick's status. Slick says he killed Crowbar again, Sawbuck twice, and Stitch once. You ask him if it was an alternate timeline Stitch. He says he guesses so. You say that doesn't count. You've got the real one here. He mutters some foul language you can't quite make out, but you tell him never mind and hurry down to meet you at the vault. He says he took some damage from Snowman. You say you know. You're having some effigies made of yourself with your backup hats. Deuce brought Slick's crumpled backup hat, which he wound up with somehow. Not sure what happened to Deuce's. Boxcars is obviously tied up at the moment, so you can't get your hands on his yet. Slick says he's got both of their hats and he'll be down ASAP. You say alright. He says in the meantime you see what you can do about this eye. Have Stitch patch up SS's effigy. Get to work, Thread Monkey. Super Saiyan needs his eye. Have right eye patched up. Damn it, your sprite was flipped the wrong way. You get Diamonds on the radio and tell him to undo it and wait till you've turned around. He says it's the right eye, right? Were you facing left or right? You says it's the only right when facing left. He says it's the left eye when facing right. He says, oh, so it's the left-right eye. You say, yeah, but hang on a minute, you'll turn around so it's right-left. He says, okay, he'll wait. That's better. Arm yourself in case Cans shows up. If Cans shows up, none of these good weapons you've got are going to do any good. You admire the lance for a moment. It's a pretty sweet weapon with outstanding craftsmanship. At least you've got something out of the eye gouging. She'll have to pry this thing from your rigid severed arm if she wants it back. Ride around on horse hitcher pretending to joust. Yeah. Oh, shit. She's looking at you, holding your knob. Your horse knob. I see you there. I know what you're up to. You can't believe she saw you horsing around like that. You will never live this down. Shoot up biscuit and eggs effigies. Biscuits and eggs. Stitch keeps their effigies in a big warehouse several miles away because of their ridiculous duplication tendencies. You're sure as hell not going to drive all the way out there, so you just shoot at them in person, and have an egg biscuit while you're at it. This was such an unbelievably terrible idea. Charge! This is incredibly delirious biznasty. Which page is it referencing? Yep. I told you. Meanwhile, in the present. Definitely dead. Start whacking things with the crowbar. The first thing you whack is egg timer. And you destroy the shit out of it. You do this because, of course, you know that crowbar's crowbar will destroy any temporal artifact and completely negate its effect on the timeline. If that were so, then none of the effects of that would have ever happened, right? Attempt to eat eggs, Nom. Oh dear God. Sorry, that was necessary. Meme faces. Biscuits is looking a tad snug in his muffin tray. Why don't we just have him eat everybody? He thinks it's about time to poke a broom straw in this battle. His dough will live to rise another day. See y'all in the future, suckers! Crowbar, biscuits oven. Make it happen. You deal the oven a wicked flogging, but not much happens. The oven doesn't really have any magical time properties to be negated. It just travels into the future at a rate of 1 second per second, like everyone else. It's faux time travel. Put dynamite in oven. You set the bomb to go off in a few seconds when both it and biscuits are released from it in a few hours. Turn up heat on biscuits oven. You're pretty sure this oven doesn't actually work at all. You just wheel it off somewhere else in the mansion so it can explode in peace. In the future, it explodes. 12 out of 15 green torsos dead, probably some more clocks destroyed too. Use crowbar to pry safe open. Since your expert safecracker apparently spent the last 5 or 6 hours being totally useless down here, you figure it's time to take things into your own hands. Huh? What's this little fella all worked up about? Clover insists that you reconsider. Using that to pry open the vault would be ever so much bad luck, like breaking 1,000 mirrors all at once. The sort of mirrors that tick and have numbers and tell time and stuff. It's the worst kind of mirrors to break luck-wise. Politely ask Clover to remain calm. He refuses that right and starts doing a really frisky jig. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. He begins spinning a fanciful series of riddles illuminating the true path to opening the vault. Mysterious music fills your ears and your mind assumes the shape of a pretzel. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. This is how the music would sound if we were listening to it right now. I have no idea. Ask Clover for the ultimate riddle. You ask Clover to open the safe. What's this? You think you can shoot Clover? He's so lucky the gun will probably jam or something predictable like that. Nice try, though. You just start whacking him with a newspaper instead. You don't have to be all that unlucky to get whacked around with a newspaper. It's sort of a gray area. Check personal ads, a periodical. The Grey Ladies. I can't read that text. All the ladies that's fit to print. Volume 157? No clothes, no shame, no chroma. You know you'll get excited. It's $1.25. That's pretty expensive. I mean, even in today's standards. Awful tragedy of the sea at night in Middelken. Wireless brings aid, but too late to save all the crew stuck by the ship. What? Bring word of cheer? Like being word of cheer, but society deepened, and I can't read that either. Confusion of names owing blah blah. Difficulties to Mrs. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Saved Mr. Astoria not mentioned. Oh man, it's got naked ladies in it. Scandalous! This isn't a real newspaper, it's just a wrapper for your private assorted literature, which no one can ever see. Uh-oh, it's slipping out a bit. Your appetite for monochrome beauties is nearly on public display. Gotta keep a lid on that smut. Especially with Clover around. Oh, and it's like legit naked lady smut, too. Bare naked ladies. Oop! He is aroused, and his arousal rumbles the house. Suddenly, the whole vault room is shaking. You wonder what it could be. It sounds suspiciously like Cans is about to plow through the wall Kool-Aid Man style. How do you know about Kool-Aid Man? You pray to God that it is not Cans about to plow through the wall Kool-Aid Man style. All of a sudden, Cans plows through the wall Kool-Aid Man style. Oh no. Resist urge to shout, oh yeah. Oh no, I told you. Oh yeah. He punches you into next week. In the chip and candy aisle. You find yourself going about your business a week later. Looks like you're doing a little grocery shopping. You're a bit confused, having no memory of the previous week. You have no idea what is on your grocery list. Are you out of milk? What kind of produce do you need to stock up on? It's all a little overwhelming. And to make things worse, the selection has too many prices involved. Use Egg's body as bait for Cans. Battle technique, torso flail. You flail the torso Cansward in an attempt to placate him with the red meat. Oops. That's not what I meant to do. Yep. References. He punches you. Out of the current calendar year. The spirited horse. The wind of heaven is that which blows between a horse's ears. It doesn't work. Cans clocks boxcar is entirely out of the current calendar year. You land in a totally different, outdated calendar. About horsies. Looks like this one's themed with spirited horses. You'll be up to your ass in horses for a whole year. Just great. This is just what you needed to be doing. Farming all these goddamn horses. Fucking pain in the ass. Ignore him and just pry the safe open. You don't care what the consequences are. You're going to crack this safe and be done with it. The whole intermission was starting to get a little punchy anyway. Starting. Ba-boom. The massive release of temporal distortion from the vault transport you to a highly unfavorable timeline. Looks like the entire mansion was leveled except for the vault and its enclosure. Everyone's dead except for you and you know who. But at least the safe's open. 1,000 out of 1,000 clocks destroyed. 14 out of 15 green torsos dead. 3 out of 4 black scofflaws offed. Enter the vault. There's nothing in here except an opening in the floor. There is a door with a keyhole, and you have a feeling you know how to open it. You only wonder why English's treasure would be locked behind the door with a spade on it. Dramatically use the spade key. You guess this is what the spade key was for all this time. You dramatically wield the spade key in a matter-of-fact manner. Peek inside keyhole? What keyhole? It was clearly a barcode scanner all along. Like the kind they sweep groceries over at supermarkets. That reminds you, actually that's more or less like the barcode scanner at the airport. You should really do some shopping next week. You're not going to peek inside because the lasers could blind you in one eye. Oh wait. You'll use rule cards for blackjack. This was never a problem because there was clearly a barcode printed on your rules card for blackjack, as well as your arm, but there's nothing wrong with a little redundancy, you guess? Get on with it. Whoops. At least it wasn't your arm. Gotcha now, Spade Slick. Oh, are you looking for this? Well, come and get it, you contemptuous shewage. I'm gonna kick your ass, Slick, and you're not even gonna know what happened. Snowman's black inches no doubt have been responsible for more than a few red cheeks. Whoa now, let's not get too hasty. Oh, she ripped your arm clean off. See you next time, Slick. Flip your sprite. Turnways, sprite flip. You've got to flip it turnways and scan that barcode. She should have just ripped both of his arms off. I mean, geez, Snowman. Oh, this place looks awful familiar. This guy again. Been a long time. Hey, kid. Yeah, you. My baby. He's looking at me. Hi. Boggled vacantly at these shenanigans. It begins to dawn on you that everything you're about to do may prove to have been a colossal waste of time. It says colossal. C-O-L-O-S-S-A-L. Spelling be my forte. And intermission. Da ba da da. Finally. Jesus flipping Christ. That's a lot of seconds.